Florida. We've had some amazing backdrops for World's Strongest Man over the years, but this is without doubt one of the most beautiful. The Sunshine State, famous for its white sands and its orange groves, its giant crocs, its big mouse named Mickey, and for also being a bit hot and sticky. Well, this year, Florida is playing host to some other outsized individuals as for the first time ever, World's Strongest Man comes here to Bradenton on the Gulf of Mexico. We've got 25 men ready to battle for the title, amongst them the reigning champion, Hafthor Bjornsson. We may find out that defending that title is every bit as hard as winning it.
Last year in the Philippines, expectation weighed heavy on Hafthor Julius Bjornsson's shoulders. The pressure from his fellow Icelanders to follow in the footsteps of the Viking greats was immense. For decades, the country had been searching for a new hero, one that could add to its 8 World's Strongest Man titles. And for so long, that hope had been an unbearable burden. But in the cauldron of Manila, the man from the land of ice breathed fire and fury as he finally gripped his giant hands on the title that had slipped through his fingers for half a decade.
Tachipella's World's Strongest Man, Hafthor Julius Bjornsson!
A nation and its new hero breathed a sigh of relief. Never before had there been such intense expectation until now. Thor has to prove that lightning does strike twice. Standing before him in Heat 1 are 4 men, all primed to conquer the man known as the Mountain. For the giant Viking, the perilous voyage now begins in the next chapter of his own Icelandic saga, as the qualification campaign begins to find the world's strongest man.
Crikey. Well, alongside Thor and company, we've got a pretty strong lineup of our own this year with, once again, the former World's Strongest Man, Eddie Hall, joining us, and also Michelle Ackley. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, James. It's great to be back. I mean, after all the drama, the excitement last year, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all pans out this year. It's going to be epic, isn't it?
Certainly hope so. Hafthor hoping to retain his title. Eddie, the last man to slay the Mountain in a strongman competition was a certain Mr. Edward Hall of Stoke-on-Trent. Do you see anyone repeating that feat this time?
Geez, I mean, well, Thor's, after winning the World's Strongest Man, he's been very busy, he's been capitalising on his win, and whilst he's been doing that, all the athletes at the bottom of the mountain, very hungry, working their way up, want to knock him off his pedestal, so he's got his work cut out, but I wish him all the best.
Excellent. We're in Florida. A massive sport down here is, of course, monster trucks. Are you a fan, Eddie?
Huge fan. Love monsters, love trucks.
Exactly. Michelle?
Oh, I love him, James.
Brilliant. The great news is we managed to get 2 Monster Jam trucks for our opening event, which is the truck pull. We put 2 of them together for a 12-ton pull. Eddie, what do you think?
Wow, that's heavy, and obviously the big tyres is going to make it very hard.
Well, we have 2 British hopefuls going in Heat 1. They are Zaki Maluzzi and Luke Stolman. So for the first time this year, let's join our commentators, who are Colin Bryce and Danny Wallace.
Well, thank you, James. And here we go. The first event, the Monster Truck Pull here in Florida. Here are our 5 strongmen. I'll meet them properly in a moment. But first, the rules. It's not exactly chess. You've got to pull a big truck for 22 metres if possible. First up then, from Germany, Gord Zillik. I wonder if you can guess what his nickname might be. I won't give it away. Monster of a man.
Ready!
And we're off, Colin.
Yes, Godzilla.
There you go.
On the pull.
You got it.
Big man, nearly 6'6" tall, weighing in well over 350 pounds, 25+ stone, and that certainly helps. Mass pulls mass. Of course, the arms coming into play with the rope and the leg drive, all key here, but he's got a good start.
Keeping low, keeping the rhythm going. 2 times Germany's strongest man.
He's got brains and brawn. He's, I believe, a barrister or becoming a barrister soon. Now, keeping the towing rope flat, that's one of the important bits to make it as efficient as possible with all of the forces. And we are 3 or 4 meters from the finish line here, but it goes uphill at the end.
which is never welcome when pulling monster trucks, but he's doing well. He's over the line. That's meaningless. The middle of the first set of wheels must cross the line.
Gravedigger coming over the line now.
Well, there you go. Just over 1 minute for Godzilla.
Of 1 minute, 4/100ths from Germany.
Well, normally the time limit is 1 minute, but here at World's Strongest Man, 75 seconds. Pushing them to the limit. He needed it.
So we move on to this fella, Iceland's Hafthor, Julius Bjornsson. He is the world's strongest man, and he'll be looking to stay the world's strongest man. Certainly by avoiding the playoffs today, Colin.
Yes, 5 events in the heats. After 4 events, the leader of each one of these qualifying heats goes straight to the final. They don't have to go into the playoff last event.
Well, he's an old hand at this, keeping low, like a steam train.
He's such a big guy. I mean, I know it's obvious to say, but he's 32 stone and 6'9" tall. My goodness me, he's just built to do this kind of thing.
Well, look at that. The speed of that, something very special from Bjornsson. Just over a minute to beat, and look at that. Pretty much halved it.
Goodness me.
Lightweight, he says. It might be to him, but I mean, this is a man who has pretty much won everything he's entered since 2017.
Yeah, even then, it was only a 1-point win by Eddie Hall a couple of years ago. Wow, was he good at that?
So 34.36 seconds. A hugely fast time from Thor. There'll be a few people now wondering how they're going to follow that.
Thor puts his foot to the floor. Coming up, there's more as Zaki, Kearney and the Highland Oak take their turn at the monster truck pull. That's next on World's Strongest Man. Welcome back to Florida. Sultry conditions on this opening day of the 2019 World's Strongest Man. Away from the shimmering waters of the Gulf, the heat is on over on the Bradenton tarmac, where more monster trucks tugging is about to take place. Colin and Danny have all the details.
Yes, we do, James. And here they come. Well, in Scotland, they call him Big Zaki. It's Malusi, first time here. He's got his woo down.
This is a great moment for him. Got selected late for this competition, number 3 in Scotland. And a touch of the monster steps, as they call it, in this monster truck pull.
I'd say this is an unsteady start for Malusi. He's kind of drifting.
Well, I mean, you can just see it's not something he's trained that often. He does train with the Stoltman brothers, but really it needs to be lower. His feet a little closer together, small steps.
Well, he's really just relying on brute force at this point rather than technique. But not doing badly, look.
Not doing badly at all, actually, when you compare him to Godzilla. But remember, these last 5 meters are uphill. This is where the pain really begins.
Well, once you've stopped, you're very unlikely to start again.
Almost impossible. Oh, he's staggering around here. Come on, Zaki.
Nearly 1 minute now.
As he said, that inertia now almost impossible to get over.
Well, he gave it a little go, but that was it for him. So Big Zaki, currently 3rd in the monster truck full, didn't complete the course of 22 meters, did manage 19.4.
Definitely a bit of a baptism of fire to World's Strongest Man for Zaki.
On then to the American Rob Kearney. Another big character in World's Strongest Man. He's the shortest character as well in World's Strongest Man. Was a primary school teacher, now he's gone full-time, thanks to the guy you can see at the edge of the screen. That's Derek Poundstone, who I can only imagine was born with that name to go into strongman competitions. But Kearney doing well.
Yeah, Poundstone 2nd at World's Strongest Man in 2008. Arguably the strongest man, never to win the title, but a great coach. Good man for keeping Kearney cool under pressure here, and he's driving towards the line, head down. He's really focused. I mean, He has to pack a big punch. He's so much smaller than the likes of Thor.
Oh, look at this. Oh, a stumble there from Kearney, but he's back on his feet. That's his fella, his husband Joey.
He's digging in. Those rock climbing shoes that are normally so sticky have slipped twice and a third time.
Well, this has really set him back now, and very surprised that he can complete the course.
I guess for him now, it's whether he can beat Zaki's 19+ meters. Hard to say. It's a 22-meter course. It's going to be close, very close.
Yes, 19.4 to beat. We'll have to wait and see, but he's not giving up.
Not at all.
Well, he'll have to now.
Drove all the way to 75 seconds, though. An impressive commitment.
Well, 18.7 meters there. So even with his technique, even with the help of Poundstone, didn't quite do what Big Zaki could.
Yeah, those shoes slipped twice. Surprised about that.
Representing Great Britain.
Well, the confident swagger,
Stoltman.
and that is a swagger. But the Highland Oak, Luke Stoltman. And his brother, of course, always nearby, which has become more important of late.
It's really nice to have Tom back. Obviously, Tom was out competing 2 years ago in Botswana, having my baby brother out competing with me for the first time. That was quite an emotional time, you know. It's I don't think you ever get over something like that, losing someone, that figure that my mother was. So yeah, we're still in grieving. But my father's out this time as well. I can only imagine how proud my father must be to have, you know, two of his boys competing in the pinnacle of strength competition. You know, it's the world's strongest man. It's the best competition in the world. And just a privilege to have him as a dad and a friend. It's not just for me, I'm kind of competing, it's just to do my family proud to do. I'm very passionate about being, you know, a Stoltman. You know, that's who I am as a person, so I want to create that kind of, yeah, that legacy in Scotland, that when people remember that name or say that name, Stoltman, they think of strength and strongman. I'm not going to bow out easy this year, you know, that's 3 years I've finished in third place and just missed out in the final, so yeah, always a bridesmaid, never the bride. Hopefully I'll be a bride this year.
Well, he'd make someone a hell of a bride, Colin, I'll tell you that. But will this be his year? Will he get that dress?
He's pulling for all he's worth at the start here, Danny. Good start. Actually, it's accelerated away pretty quickly. As good as we've seen, except maybe Hapthor.
Well, look at this. It is the small steps, keeping low, as flat as he can, and driving forward.
Everything channeled forward, a little stagger left and right there. That's really what got Zaki, who was doing pretty well until about 19 meters and then wavered about.
Well, just the determination from Stoltman, something we're so used to seeing now, we almost take it for granted.
I think he's past Kearney and Zaki. Now it's about trying to get a time, maybe, that could beat Gordzelik's 1 minute.
Well, I think he's going to do it to take second in this event. And he does. Well done, Stoltman.
In the Monster Jam truck pull with a time.
But my gosh, it's taken it out of him.
55.72, representing Great Britain.
I mean, let's just remind you, we're talking 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, look at the big cheesy.
Big smile. Did you hear him as well? He just said, "I'm fine." So second for Stoltman, but Thor takes it, and Michelle's with him now.
Thor, what a start to the competition. First event, monster truck pull. I mean, you completed that in just over 30 seconds. Amazing start.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. I'm super pleased with my time. The truck felt good. I got a good start and good finish, you know. I'm happy.
It's been a really good year for you so far as well, hasn't it?
It has been. Like, since 2017, I won everything I competed in. 2018, I won each and every competition that I went to, and this year so far. So I'm on a winning streak, and I feel very good. I have no injuries, and I'm just getting better, so it's good.
Thanks very much, and best of luck with the rest of the competition.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck to everyone else. The reigning champion there slipping easily into first in Heat 1 with a monstrous time in the truck pull, a full 21 seconds clear of the field.
Say hello to for my little friend. This is a monster truck wheel, and it forms part of the biggest super yoke we have ever had on World's Strongest Man. Now, previously, the heaviest was back in 2015 in Manila. Fully half a ton that one weighed, and it was stormed that day by a certain Hapthor Julius Bjornsson. This time, he may not have it all his own way. Firstly, because it comes at the end of a very testing Giants medley, and secondly, because he's been drawn against a man who's only half his size, but is an even better yoker than him, Rob Kearney. Let's rejoin our commentators.
Thanks, James. This is the Giants medley. Sounds like something you'd get in the carvery. First of all, it's the farmer's walk, 150 kilos in each hand. Then the super yoke, 450 kilos. Now, you might think the super yoke's as big as it gets. You forget, of course, about the giant yoke after that. Maluzzi gave it a go, managed one implement. The second only managed 1.51 meters with that. So we move on.
Representing Great Britain.
First of all, of course, Luke Stoltman recovering after his mammoth efforts against that monster truck. And from Germany, of course, Gord Zilek. Still a little sweaty.
Hapthor just watching on. He's going to have his turn in a moment or two. Now the German closest to the camera, a little bit slower. It's Stoltman from Invergordon in Scotland, who completes the first section in the lead now. Has to place his feet properly here. This is a serious weight. We're talking 1,000 pounds or thereabouts.
Well, Stoltman, very steady and always speedy. On then to the giant yoke. Once again taking on his old enemy, the monster truck.
Now then, you see that line just in front? That's all they've got to take it. It's only a few meters. That is it. But this is 600 kilograms. We're talking about, well, 1,300 pounds. It's colossal.
This really is an extraordinary weight.
Well, I mean, they can just pick and drop. If they can do that, that'll work. 4, 5, 6 of those might just get it over the line. Anything to get over the line.
It's very much a case of whatever it takes.
Hard to transfer the weight from one leg to the other. It looks like Stoltman was in the lead. And Gord Zilek there, a little bit of a cheeky slide.
Well, now it's just whoever can get it slightly further, because the time is up. And it looks like Gord Zilek just inched it. 1.72 for Stoltman. Well, he didn't inch it, he centimetered it. 1.73 for Gord Zilek, who now leads this event.
Well, that's tough for him to take there, Stoltman, just 1 centimetre. On
then to Rob Kearney. And things have really changed recently, haven't they, with Kearney, Colin?
Yes, this man, Derek Poundstone, that world record in block press. He did so many amazing things in his career, and now he's passing them on to Rob, who looks a bit of a changed man this year. Fitter, faster, and certainly more powerful.
Representing the United States.
This could be a very interesting year for Rob Kearney.
Representing Iceland.
They're looking to stop him, of course.
Julius Bjornsson.
The man who stands in the way of everybody all the time, whether he means to or not. He's just that big. Bjornsson.
This is a David and Goliath, the smallest against the biggest in all 25 competitors at World's Strongest Man. And it's Kearney who's ahead of Hapthor.
Well, look at that speed from Kearney.
Yeah, there was a bit of a grimace there with Hapthor, a bit of a hobble even. I hope he's not hurt himself.
Well, could you have imagined this a couple of years ago?
I mean, it's hard to believe, really. The 128-kilo Rob Kearney is in the lead, and Hapthor, I think, really has hurt himself.
Well, anything Kearney does now. And look at this.
Look at this.
What is happening? Just an extraordinary performance from Rob Kearney in just under 35 seconds.
Now, what's up with Hapthor?
Well, Thor looks to have taken an injury. We're taking 5 points for the win for the Giants medley. Rob Kearney.
Rob Kearney.
Gosh, what a performance.
Thank you.
Not you, Dan, but you're doing very well. I think Rob Kearney there, I think he'd have beaten Thor even if he wasn't injured.
Rob Kearney, I mean, that was incredible to watch, because there's been a lot of talk about whether anybody would be able to complete this course, and you just did it. Was there ever any doubt?
You know, for me, not really. Coming to this event, I was really excited about it, and a lot of people were mumbling and moaning and groaning when they saw that 600 kilo mark on this final yoke. But it just got me excited. You know, I've only lost the yoke one time in my career, so I wanted to come back and make a statement with this event.
Absolutely, Rob. Thank you so much. Fantastic stuff.
Thank you.
Well, the news on Hapthor is his plantar fascia in his left foot has been torn. It's a very painful injury, even worse when you're a 440-pound man.
An ice bath for the Iceman. Thor only 4th in the Giants medley. Godzilla edging Luke Stoltman by the finest of margins for 2nd. But the win goes to Rob Kearney, the first man ever to complete that course. And that means it's now a 3-way tie at the top after 2 events, with Luke, Thor and Godzilla all level, and Kearney only a point behind. Zaki Maluzzi with some catching up to do.
The reigning champion with a particularly sore foot then as we head into event 3, which we're just getting set up for here at Coquina Beach as the deadlift for reps. Life's a beach, they say, and picking this up will be 2 because it's 2 tricked out speedsters slung together on 1 frame with an extra bit of irons thrown on 2. It's heavy, so heavy they needed a crane to put it together, but Thor, Rob Kearney, Luke and the rest will have to pick it up with their bare hands. How will they get on? We'll find out next on World's Strongest Man. Welcome back to the Tachi Palace World's Strongest Man. Eddie Hall, 2 events down in Heat 1, and what did you make of Thor's start in the truck pull?
I've never seen him so big and powerful. He made that look so easy. You wouldn't think it was 12 tons, would you?
Came in about 20 seconds faster than Luke Stoltman. He didn't look so good in the Giants medley, but what about Rob Kearney, though, the smallest man here, the only one to get that 600-kilo yoke across the line?
That is literally back-breaking, so get that done with no injury, that's a big task.
Brilliant. At the moment, it's looking tighter than Eddie's tank top. 3 guys tied on points. Rob Kearney only 1 point further behind. Let's get straight over to Coquina Beach, where Michelle is with the deadlift.
Thanks, James. Now, these are the Monster Jam Speedsters, weighing in at a whopping 375 kilograms. Our athletes are going to have to try and pick them up as many times as possible within a time limit of 60 seconds. Tough times on the beach today. It's going to be anything but relaxing. Now, the deadlift has taken various forms in World's Strongest Man over the years, so before we crack on with the 2019 action, let's step into our Strongman time machine and take a look at some of the best bits.
Tremendous weightlifting competition. Just off the floor, straining every muscle fibre in his body. Say, looks every inch a strong man.
Well, they don't make it look easy. That's because it's very, very difficult. 60 seconds to lift these as many times as you can. 375 kilos. 3 men have gone so far. Big Zake didn't manage any lifts. After him, from Germany, Godzilla managed 4. So currently is in 2nd, because just ahead of him, this man having a great day. 6 reps in the deadlift, so Kearney currently in the lead, but determined, and well, he's had a team of medics on his injury, painkillers as well. Thor has hobbled his way down. He's gonna see how Stoltman does before taking it on himself.
Tom Stoltman, his brother, who's in a different heat, cheering him on. Good start. That was very clinical. Lovely. 2 reps down. 6 to beat by Kearney, the American, to put him into the lead. And we have no idea how Hapthor... Oh.
Well, he needs this next one if he's going to pull level with Gordzilic. And he gets that. He's checking the time, 30 seconds to go.
I think he's certainly good for 1 more, if not 2. What is in him in this heat? That's the thing. 2 would equal him with Kearney now. 1 would take him ahead of Gordzilic. It's all good points.
Well, he's got that. So, with just over 10 seconds, most people... No, well, he's not, is he? He's going to give it 1 more go.
Come on, Luke.
Couldn't quite manage it, but look at that. Very good, 5 reps. Takes him into 2nd place in the deadlift so far.
Representing Great Britain, Luke Stoltman.
Just 1 rep behind Kearney, and now we get to see what the big man can do. Just think he's got one of the most painful foot injuries you could have, and he's got to come out and add another 375 kilos to his weight. And when the tongue comes out, I'm afraid that's normally it, actually. That's the sign we should have known.
That is his tell. So, Bjornsson then. The world's strongest man.
Well, this is when we find out just how mentally strong he is. That left foot heavily strapped. It's been injected with painkillers. It's a horrible injury. And that wasn't so tough.
It was a very confident start.
For a 1-legged man, he's doing all right here. He is so powerful at the deadlift. He might be tall, but this is a great event for Bjornsson normally, and I think it is going to be today. That equals Kearney. 1 more. He knows he just has to do 1 more. No one comes after him.
Well, that's that. And the pain he must have been in there, the pain he must have been fighting to take that event. But really, I mean, I feel silly doubting him now. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's Hapthor Bjornsson.
Representing Iceland, Hapthor.
Just having a sip of his milkshake. And he likes it. It's good.
Yeah.
Remarkable that from Bjornsson. 7 reps on 1 leg, with Kearney, Luke and Godzilla coming in behind. Michelle is with a very happy Hapthor.
Well, Thor, you made that look easy. 7 reps and no sign at all of your injury from the Giants medley. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, you know. I tore my plantar fascia in the medley. I'm able to still compete in the competition, but it will give me a lot of pain and discomfort. I will do anything in my power to keep on going, and you know, I didn't come here to take 2nd place. I came here to take what's mine and be back-to-back champion.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling okay. Well done. See you in the next heats.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah!
The mountain moves clear on top of Heat 1. Still, for all his brave words, the champion is clearly a wounded man, and the others are close behind. 2 points the gap to Stoltman and Kearney, and 3 to Rafael Gordzilic.
So we're in confident mood there, but Eddie, he's facing some problems. This fascia that's torn in his left foot. You've had this injury before. What's it like?
Yeah, I mean, I did a partial tear, and when I did mine, I couldn't walk for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So if it's a full detachment, you're looking at a couple of months. It's really, really painful as well.
Right, but now he's got to pick up these 155-kilo beams and press them over his head.
Yeah.
In terms of how the injury limits him, what's that going to mean?
Well, I mean, the deadlift was static, so there's no sort of foot movement, but the log press, you've got to pick it up to your chest, you've got to press it above your head, and also you've got to lock it for a few seconds.
Right.
If you fall forward or backward, you need your feet balance to sort of stop that happening, so he could be in some big trouble.
So essentially one of his legs is no longer controlling his
It's not
pitch.
doing anything, yeah.
Right, OK, Rob Kearney and Luke Stoltman right on his heels. Potentially an upset in the works then in Heat 1. Let's rejoin our commentators.
Thanks, James. Yeah, Thor doesn't want anyone anywhere near his heels right now. This is a timed event, 75 seconds. How many times can you lift that above your head? Locking out, of course. Big Zake went first, he managed 2. Just about 35.5 seconds.
Representing Germany,
And now things get very serious.
Gordzilic.
It's Gordzilic up against Stoltman. Now, whoever leads this event overall goes straight through to the final. Next time we see them is when we're crowning World's Strongest Man.
That's right. It's a big prize at stake here after this event. The leader really does get let off the hook, but second and third will go into a sudden death playoff. The fifth event, the stone off now. Let's have a bit of concentration on what is going on here. Gorzelek, the best ever German log presser, up against one of Britain's finest ever log pressers. Right now, it's 3-2 to Stoltman. Here's number 4.
And as you say, just one of Britain's finest ever. He can really put the pressure on Thor here as well. Big performance would really make Thor struggle, and Stoltman could get through automatically.
There's just so few points in it at the moment. We'll have to wait and see now. Stoltman on 6. If he can get 8 or 9, Thor's so tall it'll be hard to see how he can hit that number with that bad foot. Gorzelek struggling in the heat a little bit.
I think he's had enough, hasn't he? But this guy's still got some petrol in the tank.
75 seconds, remember. One more, take your time here. Come on, hit it. Gets the down call from the referee, and that's it. He's spent. You have to be a very fit man to be pumping them out at 75 seconds.
Well, that's great. He's still asking how many, and he's happy with that. Well, that's 9, and that, as we were saying, really will put the pressure on an injured Thor.
Let's not forget, Rob Kearney is one of the best pressers out of America. In fact, this is a stacked group of pressers. A bit disappointing maybe for Rafa there. Just one pair to go. Kearney against Thor Bjornsson.
In the zone. Thor in a marquee.
Keeping cool, no doubt. 1 minute, 7 seconds for 9 reps. The time is important.
Representing the United States, Rob Kearney.
Now we've been watching that. And why is the time important, Colin?
Because if these men were to do 9 reps, if they were to be that good, and they did it quicker, then they would get the nod. They would be ahead of Stoltman.
So 9 to beat. And they're off.
Well, you see the height difference here. Surely has to be a help in repetitions for Kearney on the left-hand side. Bjornsson, he's putting it up at about basketball rim height every time here. And look how slow and steady Bjornsson is on the other side. He doesn't want to move his feet. His foot is in absolute agony at the moment.
Well, Kearney pushing on. Very controlled, very considered. Neck and neck at the moment.
Slick technique on the left, hit with the legs, brute power on the right. Almost all arm power from Bjornsson.
Roughly halfway through now. Kearney's on 6, rolling it up the chest. No sign of slowing from either of these guys. So both on 7. If they can beat Stoltman's time of 1 minute and 7 for 9 reps, well, it would mean Bjornsson would go straight through to the final. Look at this from Kearney. Well, Kearney's done it. Look at that.
Could Bjornsson do it?
And Bjornsson's done it as well. Oh, I mean, you have to feel sorry for Stoltman there.
We can have double figures. No.
No, we can't, but we nearly did. And Thor knows he's done enough.
Yeah, that second place secured him. Not yet back-to-back titles, Thor, but a place in the grand final anyway.
How did we ever doubt it? The reigning champion there putting in those 9 reps, 2 seconds faster than Luke Stoltman, enough to seal for Thor the automatic qualifying place in the grand final. Rob Kearney's second win in 4 events, meanwhile, not enough to see him best Bjornsson overall. That means that next up, Kearney will be facing a last man standing clash with Luke Stoltman for the heat's other qualifying spot, as we say goodbye to Rafael Gorzelek and Zaki Maluzzi. We hope to see them back next year. So, next up for us, 2 huge men with 1 big dream and 1 massive stone to lift back and forth between them. It's a UK v USA last man standing showdown. Welcome back to beautiful Anna Maria Island in Bradenton, Florida, where everything's about to get crystal clear in the dramatic finale of Heat 1. It's USA's Rob Kearney against Scotland's Luke Stoltman for a place in the grand final. Over to Eddie and Michelle.
Thanks, James. Well, Eddie, here we are. 2 men left, Luke Stoltman and Robert Kearney. The last man standing in this event secures their place in the grand final. Talk us through the rules.
The rules are nice and simple. We've got a 180 kilo Atlas stone. The guys have got to lift it up, get it to the chest, put it over the bar, and then the opposition has exactly 20 seconds to do exactly the same. Sounds easy, but it's really tough.
There's nowhere to hide in this event, though, is there? I mean, it's eyeball to eyeball. It's almost like a strongman penalty shootout. How do you fancy Luke's chances?
Well, believe this or not, it's in recorded Scottish history that stone lifting dates back to the 11th century, where King Malcolm Canmore picked his personal bodyguard by who could pick up the biggest stone. And that man is Luke Stoltman. Now, these guys have got a really tough job today because of the heat. They're going to be picking this stone up. The tacky is going to be like baby oil. It's going to be melting. So it comes down to more strength and technique. They've got to pull it to the chest as tight as they possibly can, get it over that bar, and geez, I wish the guys the best luck. It's going to be really, really hard in this heat.
I really can't wait to see this, Eddie. And as we've said, we've got our Brit Luke Stoltman versus the USA's Rob Kearney. There is all to play for in this event. You better hold on to your sofas. Colin, Danny, over to you.
Thanks, Michelle. So yes, these two have to pass this stone back and forth until one of them can't do it anymore.
Representing
for each
the
lift, you've
United
only got
States,
20 seconds.
Rob Kearney.
I can tell you that stone also weighs more than Eddie Hall. But stone lifting, very much in the Scottish DNA, as Eddie was saying, Colin.
And Luke, a champion at it. And there's his wife and his father on the left, watching on. Now,
to be clear, they're different people.
Yes, absolutely. And Luke manages to get that first stone over. Now, it started on his side. That is, I guess, his punishment for being in third. Kearney, well, he was in second after 4 events, and right back at you, Luke.
Now, with that 20 seconds, they've got to essentially respond like a strongman's volley. They want to get it over as quickly as possible to give the other guy as little time as possible to recover. Stoltman's height really helping him to do just that.
You would imagine things like that will start to be a playing factor here. Look at that. Stoltman is easy, just gets it up to mid-stomach height and kicks it over with his hips now. Kearney, on the other hand, struggles to get his arms all the way around this massive stone, and it's more like chest height each time. If it slips once, he's going to be in trouble.
Well, Kearney is slowing down a little bit. There you go, says Stoltman. Over to you.
Breath here now. He does not have time to fumble this, and he doesn't. Good job.
Yes, he has been using the bar a bit more now. Not really seemed to do that as much before. Whereas Stoltman just chucks it over.
Slam dunk.
Yeah.
Almost showing off a little bit there that he's still well in control. Perhaps psychologically trying to wear Kearney down, who hits the bar hard. He's coming up a little short now.
And you do mention the psychology of it. I know to an outside pair of eyes, this just looks like 2 men chucking a stone at each other. But there's a lot at stake here. Neither man has made it to the grand final before. And both men are just a stone lift away.
Careers on the line here. This is it. Everything is built up to this moment. Luke Stoltman now takes a pause. He's tiring. Those massive muscles just filling with lactic acid. But he gets it back again.
And who is going to crumble first? Because someone has to.
Almost slipped on the first stage there, and he's just over 15 seconds on that lift. This is getting tighter and tighter each time. Come on, Luke.
Wow.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Just inside the white line. They've got to drop inside that white box. A little cheeky from Luke. That was like, catch this, buddy.
Yeah. It's got to that stage, isn't it?
Big time. He knows he hasn't got many left in him, Luke. And I don't think Rob Kearney has either. 5 seconds to go.
Well, this will be tight. No, too tight, that's it. Well, poor Rob Kearney. But what a performance. And what a performance from this guy, of course. And we have a Brit then in the final. And his name is Luke Stoltman. The first time he has made it through. Both men pretty emotional there.
Yeah, the big yin in the big one. And straight away he came round to Rob Kearney. Good sportsmanship, but also he knows how much Kearney laid it on the line there because he's feeling it as well. And there's dad and wife. Big moment for the family.
Well done, Luke Stoltman. It's hard to tell the sweat from the tears.
I love you, man.
And Scotland should be so proud of this man. He did it for his brother, did it for his dad, his wife, and he did it for his mum. Normally we'd see him showboating, wouldn't we? But not this time.
Okay.
Emotional moment. Big hug from his brother. Dad. I'm sure Mum would be very, very proud.
Luke Stoltman, what can I say? You've only gone and done it.
Yeah.
You've got your place in the final. How are you feeling?
Oh, emotional. You know, it's this is my fourth year doing this, and you know I've been third every year. So I mean, I'm just so thankful. My dad, also my brother and my wife, you know, they all like here, and my mum's looking up from wherever she is up in the sky, you know. So I know she's going to be proud. I just wish she was here to see it. She knew how much it meant to me. So this is for her, and yeah, I'm just going to be a mess today.
Luke, we are all rooting for you. The biggest of congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you guys. Cheers. Cheers.
Big boys do cry. Luke Stoltman showing tremendous heart there as he wins his way through to his first grand final, edging out Rob Kearney. And courageous stuff too from Hafthor Bjornsson, the reigning champion, staying in the competition with a severely injured foot and winning Heat 1. After a long day flat out, what better than a traditional strongman massage? Nice and deep to the muscles, which apparently are all over there. Anyway, soon Eddie and I will be refreshed and recharged and back with Heat 2 of this year's competition, which features an interesting mix of athletes. There's Konstantin Janasha of Georgia, there's Britain's Adam Bishop, and there's also Eddie's old friend Robert Oberst of the USA. We'll be back with that next time on Channel 5. See you then.